Jams for Hire.
Welcome back to Jams for Hire. I'm Matthew Perry. With me tonight, the birthday boy RJ Strope and Jamil King. Will cannot be with us. He's in a bed somewhere snoozing away. We're back with the Week 9 Pick'ems Little Standings update. Will did take over first place, although he's not here to enjoy it. He's 85-39, one game up on RJ, who's 84-40. Jamil, a couple games back, he's 83-41, and I'm coming up the rear. 6 games back, I'm 79-45. The week itself, week 8, was a tough one for all of us. Quite a few upsets last week. Myself, Will, and Jamil all went 7-8, and RJ went 6-9, which is what put him a game back from a previous tie. Nice. We have 5 islands this week. Jamil has 2, Will has 2. You'll hear from him, and I have 1. RJ's keeping it cool this week, but Jamil, we'll start with your islands. First one is a good one, an in-division matchup, the AFC North to be exact. It's the Cleveland Browns and Cincinnati Bengals. You're the only one to take Cleveland. They're coming off a loss to the Steelers, I believe. Tell me why you picked the Browns.
Yeah, they are coming off of a loss, but so are the Bengals. And the Bengals came off of a crazy loss. You know, they were flying so high and they lose the Jets. And last week I told you guys that I was really leaning towards picking the Steelers against the Browns. I ultimately didn't do it, and the Steelers ended up losing. But this is a game I think the Browns need to have now after dropping that game to the Steelers. Your back's against the wall. You're down at the bottom of that division. You had so many high hopes coming into the season. We have the Odell Beckham drama, which is another thing for another day. But I think this team needs to find a way to win. I think they need to rely on the run with Nick Chubb and Dearness Johnson. And I think they're going to find a way to win this game because they kind of have to if they want this season to go anywhere near the way they wanted it to go.
RJ, obviously the Bengals didn't get the result they wanted, losing to Mike White and the Jets. How can the Bengals bounce back this week?
I think they can just play their game. Jamil kind of hit on all the problems going on in Cleveland right now. That's a clown show. Baker Mayfield as the quarterback, dealing with injuries, calling out the fans, saying, we need you to do this. I saw a tweet where he basically said, you know, we're out here grinding, putting our bodies on the line. We need y'all to show up and get loud and help us. Cleveland might have the most loyal fan base in all of sports. I don't think you need to be running your mouth calling them out. How about you just do your job and try to get paid this offseason? Because right now it's not looking like it's going to happen. You got all the Odell drama. Nick Chubb is back after being injured. Thank God. They finally got something good going on in Cleveland. But this Cincinnati team, I have no idea what happened last week against the Jets. I don't understand it. This had to be a situation where they did not take the Jets seriously. Everyone knows the Jets are one of the worst teams in all of football, and then they lose their quarterback, and some guy that no one's even heard of, Mike White, comes in. They're thinking, okay, you know, we'll just go mow through them. Jamar will have a couple touchdowns. You know, we'll be on to Cleveland. And that's not what happened. New York punched them in the mouth. I think Cincinnati, they just kind of got to forget about that game. This is a division game against an in-state rival, Cleveland, with all the problems in Cleveland. I get it. It's a must-win game. I just don't know that their mind is right in Cleveland right now. I think they've got some problems. They're going to have to work through them, and Cincinnati is not a good opponent to try to work through problems against.
So, Jamil, if the Browns were to, you know, come out on top this weekend, over under 150 rushing yards for Nick Chubb.
Under, because they split so much that I don't think he'll get 150. I think they'll have 150 as a team if they win the game, but I don't know if Chubb will get 150 on his own.
All right, it'll be interesting to see. Definitely important for the division race, and of course the playoffs coming up in, you know, half a season basically at this point. Jamil, we'll go to your second island. It's one of the better matchups this week, although it's missing a key piece. It is the Packers and the Chiefs. Of course, today, day of recording, Wednesday, Aaron Rodgers tested positive for COVID-19. He will not be playing. It'll be Jordan Love starting instead against Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs, who have lost their mojo, it seems. Whatever happened in Space Jam has seemingly happened to the Chiefs. They lost their powers, and they got to gain them back. And it looks like all three of us, besides you, Jamil, have have thoughts that the Chiefs will get them back this week against the Packers. So what made you go with the Packers? I mean, this pick was made before the COVID announcement, right? Or was it?
No, I picked this after.
Oh, okay. Then please tell us why.
And I picked that for that exact reason. How did we pick yesterday? I would have picked the Chiefs, and I would have picked the Chiefs because I figured all y'all would have picked the Packers.
Yeah.
I wanted to separate myself with this game, to be completely honest with you guys. And just because the Packers lost their quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, which is absolutely huge, it's showtime for Jordan Love. It's the Love season. It's the Love era starting right here. We all know this could possibly be the starting quarterback for the Packers next season. So he's going to get his time to shine right here. And he has a get right spot against the Chiefs defense that can't stop a nosebleed right now. They really can't stop anything. And to be honest, last week they struggled and barely beat Daniel Jones. So to me, there's no reason why Jordan Love can't come in here. He gets Allen Lazard back. If he gets Devontae Adams back, we all know they can run the ball with AJ Dillon and with Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
This offense has all the ability to score, and their defense is pretty stout. They're pretty strong, and I think they'll be able to hold Mahomes down a little bit because Mahomes has been holding himself down for the past few weeks. So I see no reason why Jordan Love can't lead this team to a win on Arrowhead.
You did mention quite a few ifs. If certain guys are returning, I don't think a few of those guys are confirmed yet to be back.
They should test negative by Friday.
Hopefully they do, because they're definitely going to be needed. RJ, I know you did pick the Chiefs, but if you can, play neutral for a second, who do you trust more, the Chiefs defense or Jordan Love?
Neither one of them. This Chiefs defense is not good, but we haven't seen anything from Jordan Love, really. This is going to be real live game action on the road in a very tough place to play in the NFL. So I honestly, I made this pick before Aaron Rodgers tested positive. I was going to take the Chiefs before, even if Rodgers played. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers being out, that just kind of helps my pick. But no, I'm going to go Kansas City, and I get it. This team isn't playing anywhere close to the level we thought they were, but they're at home against a quarterback that we really don't know much about. I can't really take the Packers here.
Yeah, I mean, you have two teams here that are kind of trending in opposite directions. The Packers haven't lost since, week 1, right?
Week 1.
Yeah, so, 6-game winning streak for them. And then you have the Chiefs, who won last week against the Giants just barely. And that could be, you could kind of give that to the Giants coaching staff kind of pissing that game away. But, teams in two opposite directions, who do you trust more? And like you said, it's hard to trust either of them. The Chiefs did acquire Melvin Ingram, who hasn't done much this season, only 1 sack in 6 games, but, he's proven himself before as a quality defender. So maybe that improves the Chiefs defense a bit. I don't see it making that much of a difference, especially this week, but I got to trust it. Packers would be in for a letdown game, and the Chiefs need a big momentum boost. So a win here for the Chiefs and a loss for the Packers kind of makes sense to me. So that's going to be a game to watch for sure. If Mahomes can be himself, or if he's going to be his little brother out there, we'll see. We'll go to my island, and it's an ugly one. We have ugly girls fighting every week, but it's not usually this bad of a combination. It's the Houston Texans and the Miami Dolphins. The Houston Texans might not even have Tyrod Taylor yet. That's yet to be seen. I believe otherwise it would still be Davis Mills. And then you have the mess that is Tua and the Dolphins. I don't know if any of us really saw the Dolphins being 1-7. I didn't. I kind of liked what they were putting together, like low-key, but 1-7 is not, they should not be in the conversation of the Jaguars and the Texans. And I personally did take the Texans because I feel like this game could go either way. Both teams have been struggling. Really, I mean, horrendously. There's nothing good to say about either team, but I do have Maddie stats for this one, and I will bring them to you guys now. Houston has won 8 of their last 9 against Miami, so you could say they have their number. That's somewhat significant. There's not much good to say about this game because both teams have downsides here. Yeah, so 2 ugly girls fighting, and it's probably the worst one we'll see this year. Distancing myself, plus anything can happen, I'll go with the Texans. Jamil, why Miami?
I'm going with the Dolphins because, aside from playing last week against the Bills, obviously the Bills have a stout defense. the 2 games before that against the Jaguars and the Falcons, Tua Tagovailoa actually looked pretty decent. And if you're going to give me another defense that's bad in the Houston Texans who just cut their supposedly best corner in Vernon Hargreaves, I think this recipe for disaster for that secondary. Jalen Waddle and Devontae Parker both, they're back together, playing together for the first time in a couple of weeks on the same field together. I think Tua Tagovailoa is going to be able to hit them both. Mike Gesicki against this bad defense, I think they'll be able to score more than the Houston.
RJ, any thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. Miami's going to be able to score a lot more than Houston. This is absolutely the ugly girl Super Bowl of the year. There's not another game on the schedule that's uglier than this one. If you're paying money to go watch this game on Sunday, congratulations, or I'm sorry, I don't know. Maybe times are tough and this is the only game you could afford to go to. But I commend you if you're going to sit through 3 hours of that.
Sources say they're giving away tickets in local Miami soup kitchens. So we'll see who shows up for that game. I doubt it's going to be a packed house. These days, it's not likely.
Even a homeless person would be like, ew, I don't want to go to that.
Yeah, like I got to go, do I have to pay for park? Do I have to park my shopping cart? Or I got to pay for that?
Wow.
Like, that's too much. Jamil, you don't have a shopping cart?
Next game.
Will's Islands. We'll see him in a second. He picked for this in-division matchup, he picked the Atlanta Falcons over the New Orleans Saints. Will, via satellite, why did you pick the Falcons?
Hey everybody, lead dog here. I'm sorry I can't be there to enjoy it, but this week I got 2 islands, and the first one I'm taking the Falcons over the Saints. I mean, it's right now with no Jameis Winston, with no Taysom Hill, they're relying on Trevor Siemian, and I don't know how much I trust that. The Atlanta Falcons, they have an offense that has the ability to score at will. Granted, Calvin Ridley stepping away from football for a little bit. There's a lot going on in this game. It's just, honestly, the smart move is probably to take Sean Payton and the Saints. But right now, I'm up by a game. It's a game where I could see could go either way. Trevor Siemian is not necessarily known for his keen quarterback play from his time from both the Jets and as well as the Broncos. Not exactly the greatest of quarterbacks. So I kind of went with a toss-up. And so I'm going to take a chance on the Falcons this week. We'll see exactly how it pays off.
Great. Insightful. Beautiful. I absolutely believe you. All 3 of us here, we picked the New Orleans Saints. RJ, tell us why. This
one, I almost went with Atlanta. And I just can't trust. I should honestly change my pick. It's been a pretty good week for Atlanta. Maybe the Falcons can back it up and keep that going. I don't know. I still think even without Jameis, Michael Thomas hasn't played. He's not going to. But Sean Payton, he's such a great coach. I think even if he doesn't have a quarterback, he can still beat these average and below average teams. I think Sean Payton is that good of a coach. He can make up that kind of difference. If New Orleans was playing, I don't know, if they were playing like Minnesota or someone, a team that I actually think is not as bad as their record, I would take Minnesota. But Atlanta, I just cannot trust this Falcons team. 1 week they look good. The next week they're the worst team in the league. What are we going to get? Last week they won against Carolina. Or no, Carolina won.
They
right?
lost. Yeah, Carolina won.
Yeah, Carolina won. I picked them to beat Carolina, and of course they had to lose. So it doesn't really matter what way I pick the Falcons. They're going to screw me. So I'm picking the Saints. So congratulations to the Falcons and congratulations to the city of Atlanta. You're going to get 2 wins this week.
Well, the Saints have won 3 straight against Atlanta, allowing less than 20 points each time. If that's any kind of trend, it's a pretty dominant one. But things have looked good this week for the city of Atlanta. Maybe the sports curse is over. Maybe the Falcons will finally get it together. I don't think it's likely, but that would be kind of interesting. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. For Will's second and final island, right before we move into our unanimous picks, we have the New York Giants, who Will picked to defeat the Las Vegas Raiders, who have just about everything off the field going on. And, I mean, they're still playing pretty well on the field, too. But obviously the Henry Ruggs stuff a couple of days ago, we'll never see him on an NFL football field again, maybe in The Longest Yard 2 to make a real-life remake. It's bad. It's really bad. Things are a mess right now in Las Vegas, so Will did go with New York though, so we'll get his thoughts now.
I have to take the Giants here, and I'm honestly shocked that this is an island. Uh, Everybody knows what's going on with the Raiders. Everybody knows what's going on with the Raiders. It's not good. Rest in peace to the young woman that was involved in the car accident with Henry Ruggs. Poor Henry Ruggs. I mean, you do stupid things, you pay the stupid tax, and now your NFL career is over. You're not coming back. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is, and you're not going to play another NFL game again. Now I understand that the Raiders came together and they won with Gruden, but there's a difference. I don't necessarily think that Gruden was on the same page with all of those players, and I think they kind of rallied around the team saying, hey, we're better than this. But Henry Ruggs was in that locker room every day. Henry Ruggs was there amongst the team, had great friends, I'm sure, with parts of the team, whether it be in the wide receiver room, whether it be with Derek Carr, the offensive line, whoever it is that he's made friends with, that's gone now. And that's a real shame for Henry Ruggs. But like I said, you do stupid things, you pay the stupid tax, and unfortunately, it costs somebody their life. And I just think there's a little bit too much hanging over that organization right now. And the Giants are one of those teams that can come out and surprise you. They came out and surprised the Saints earlier this year. They're a team that's gritty. They're a team that's grimy. They can mess around and win a game. They played the Chiefs real close. Granted, the Chiefs are playing not their best football by any means. But yeah, it's the Giants are playing good enough, and the Raiders have enough going on to where I think this is a week that you should take the Giants. Lead dog out.
Thank you, Will. Good stuff there. RJ, why the Raiders?
Well, obviously they're two completely different situations here, but I remember a couple weeks ago when they fired John Gruden and everything was circulating around that franchise, everyone went against the Raiders, thought it was too big of a circus, too much distraction going on, and I picked the Raiders, and it looked like that team kind of came together and went out there and said, you know what, yeah, the distractions are out there, but this is a team. The guys that are still here, we're going to play together as a team, and they went out there and won. I think they beat Denver, that's a good team to play on a bad week. So, and here we are again in another really bad situation. This team has to come together. They have to play for the guys that are still there. Yeah, they lost a teammate, but that it really isn't about him. It's a terrible deal what happened in Vegas, and everyone on that roster knows that the distractions are out there. They're going to have to come together now. They got to play for each other. They got to drown out all that noise and go out there and come together. And I think they will. And I think it's another bad team that they're going up against. So again, it's a good week it's a good opponent for a busy, loud, disruptive week. Obviously, the deal going on in Vegas right now, this thing's a lot bigger than football. But I think for the guys that are still on the team, the guys that are still there going to be playing on the field, I think they're going to come together and they're going to take care of another bad football team in the Giants.
Jamel, over under 250 passing yards for Derek Carr.
I'm going to take the over. And, bouncing off what RJ said, this is where your leaders got to step up. And Derek Carr, as much as we want to slander him as a quarterback, he seems like one heck of a leader. And he's really a heck of a leader for that football team. The Giants don't have the best defense, so I want to see him take advantage of that secondary. Obviously, he doesn't have his deep threat anymore, so we're going to see a little bit more Zay Jones, a little bit more Darren Waller, maybe a little more running the ball. So we'll see what they do there. But I think Derek Carr has a good chance to put some numbers up this week.
It's going to be interesting for sure, seeing how the Raiders deal with everything. But we'll move to our unanimous picks before we head out of here, of course. And we'll start with the Thursday night game, the Indianapolis Colts against the New York Jets. Jets won last week. We know that means absolutely nothing to us. All four of us picked the Colts. Jamil, tell us why.
Yeah, it's going to be way too much Jonathan Taylor. They're going to establish a run with him. This is the team that the Colts just keep finding ways to lose games and games that are really, really close. I saw something earlier that said the Colts might start sitting Carson Wentz so they can keep their first round pick. So just the Eagles can't get it. But I think the Colts should be able to control this game from beginning to end. I think Mike White now has film out on him, and he's not going to have nearly the performance he did last week against the Bengals.
RJ, over under 200 total yards for Jonathan Taylor.
Probably under. I mean, he doesn't have to go off and have 250 to beat the Jets. We know that. We know who the Jets are. Well, we thought we did, and then they go beat the Bengals. Yeah, this is a bad football team. But damn, Jamil, I never even thought of that. If you're the Colts and you know you're out of it, you know you're not making the playoffs, why wouldn't you just sit Carson Wentz and keep your first round pick?
Yeah,
That's actually genius.
Hey, Carson, bro, we're gonna keep you healthy, man. We're not gonna let you get hit. We're gonna keep this pick. We're gonna get another playmaker for you, boss. Just hold tight.
Yeah, literally. I would. Oh my God, absolutely. Play chess while the rest of the league plays checkers.
Someone call
Let
up
Sam
the Colts.
Ellinger get some reps.
Absolutely. All right.
You prove your draft rating
Yeah.
because this team's
Oh,
not bad. They just keep
No.
finding bad ways to lose games.
Yeah, and make sure. I mean, there has to be a level of trust there between the general manager, coach, and quarterback to say, "Hey, we're gonna sit you because we want our first round pick.
Yeah,
but
we're
we're
right.
not
You're not
taking a
benched.
quarterback with that pick. We're gonna
Yeah,
help
you're not
you.
benched.
You're not done. You're just. It's like what I wanted to do last year with Christian McCaffrey. Hey, you're our guy, but just take the year off. We need to get you a quarterback. But yeah, no, there has to be that trust with Carson Wentz and that brass. But damn, that's actually really smart. They should. I'm on that train.
Colts coaching staff will be in touch. Absolutely.
They should.
Denver and Dallas, two teams that have been through a lot this season, but Dallas has looked good. Obviously, last week no Dak. It was Cooper Rush, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Was that his name? Yeah.
Yeah, that was my island.
And they stick out the win. Yeah, Jamil. I mean, with Dak out, you got confident, and it's primetime Kirk Cousins. You can't count
Kirk
on
Cousins. No, I'm
him.
done with Kirk Cousins. I'm done with him. I had him in one of my fantasy teams, and I lost by 10 because of him because he can't throw no touchdowns. I'm done with Kirk Cousins. I'm done with the Vikings.
I
I'm
actually,
done with that team.
ironically, I just added Kirk Cousins to replace
Get
Baker.
rid of him. Don't do it. I
Baker,
just
well,
don't do it.
Matt Stafford's my starter, so I'm balling. But
No,
my
don't do
backup,
it. Anything but him.
my backup's Baker Mayfield, and I need someone who's going to actually throw the ball a little bit more. And I'm only going to use him for the bye. So I did pick up Kirk Cousins. We'll see.
Go get Carson Wentz.
As long as it's not prime time.
Oh boy.
But Dallas, all four of us have Dallas beating Denver. RJ, tell us why.
Dallas is actually really good. Denver's trash. They have a trash quarterback. They're not starting their best running back. None of their receivers are healthy. This team sucks.
They got the receivers back now.
Okay. Don't care. If you don't have a quarterback that can throw the ball to him, it really doesn't matter.
We know
Is
you
John
said
Elway
he-
coming out of retirement? Is Peyton Manning coming back? No. If it's still number 5 playing quarterback, I don't want to hear it.
There has to be some point where like it reaches its expiration date. I mean, you don't have a better backup. It's still Drew Lock, but do you think this upcoming draft, it's not a great quarterback class, but do you think the Broncos would pursue a quarterback?
Well, so that's the problem. John Elway, as the grand poobah of the Denver Broncos, whatever his job title is, he has not been
Nope.
good at finding quarterbacks.
Nope.
That man he owes his entire managerial career to Peyton Manning signing in Denver, because this guy took Tim Tebow in the first round. I like Tim Tebow, but it didn't really help him. Drafted Paxton Lynch, drafted Drew Lock. This guy has a
Trevor Siemian too, right?
track record.
You would think
with
such a good
quarterbacks.
quarterback would find a half decent quarterback.
Can't do it. He's like Jim Harbaugh at Michigan. Can't do it.
It's easier said than done, I guess. I mean, RJ for
I get it, but man,
RJ for Broncos president of or whatever, director of operations, whatever his title is, Grand Poobah.
absolutely not. Screw Denver. I still remember Super Bowl 50.
That's right. You do have a personal vendetta against Denver. Forgot about that. Good Super Bowl though.
No, it wasn't.
I had fun watching it. We'll move to the Panthers as they take on the New England Patriots. Pat's coming off a win. They defeated Jay Herbo and the Chargers, which none of us saw coming because we took an L for that. But Macaroni Jones may be legit. I don't know. He's doing enough at least because they're winning football games, and we have them defeating the Panthers this week. I'll go back to RJ just because Panthers. Tell us why. Tell us why we have the Patriots.
The Patriots are actually starting to look decent. I'm not a big McCorkle guy. I don't know, whatever. This Patriots team is starting to get it together. It's still Bill Belichick. They're not awful. I will say this is the most disappointing game for me. When the schedule came out, I circled this game. I was hyped. I was going to go to Charlotte for this because I wanted to see Cam Newton play against the Panthers for the first time.
Right.
Obviously, it didn't happen. Now we're stuck with McCorkle, so I don't care about this game at all. It's still Sam Darnold versus Bill Belichick. Sam Darnold sees ghosts when he goes up against Bill Belichick's defense. He literally said it on the bench in New York. This is going to be ugly. It's going to be in Charlotte. And I personally hope New England wins by 30 points because I just want the owner, the general manager, the coach. I want all of the upper echelon people in the Carolina Panthers organization to watch them lose by 30 the week after they did not make a trade for Deshaun Watson. That's what I want.
My question out of what you just said, why don't the Broncos sign Cam Newton? Wouldn't that make sense?
I've had a couple of teams sign Cam Newton.
Yeah,
I don't want to see Cam in Denver.
But I think Denver might want to see him in Denver. I mean, he's much better than Teddy. He's much better than Drew Lock.
I think Washington should have been called him.
Washington, yeah, because obviously Heineke's not the answer. They have a bye this week to think about what they've done. So,
or what they haven't done.
Yeah, basically. So we all have New England. RJ has New England by 40. So we'll see what happens there. Jamil, this one's short and sweet. Shouldn't be a problem. The Buffalo Bills recircle the wagons just like they do every week in and out. They're taking on Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Poor Trevor Lawrence. He's due for a long game because no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. And that defense is going to have Trevor Lawrence seeing ghost. Josh Allen is going to do his thing on offense. He's going to throw about 3 touchdowns. Maybe not throw. He's going to score at least 4 touchdowns on his own. Throwing, running. Diggs will get his touches. Sanders will get his touches. Beasley will get his touches. The whole offense will get their touches. This should be a big win for the Buffalo Bills.
RJ, do you object to that?
No, unfortunately. As much as I love Trevor Lawrence, it's going to be
going to be a long one for all young Trevor, young Sunshine.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Young Sunshine needs some help.
We'll move along. Baltimore and Minnesota. Minnesota coming off of
Don't talk to me about Minnesota.
A close loss to Dallas, but Baltimore's coming off a bye, I want to say. They're back. Lamar, most recently beat the running back allegations. He's legit. We all know it. Having a potentially MVP season, maybe now that Derrick Henry's out. We'll talk about that later. But all 4 of us do have the Baltimore Ravens. RJ, tell us why.
Because Kirk Cousins sucks. Let's keep it real. This Minnesota team, I don't know how long I'm going to defend them. I swear this roster isn't bad.
RJ, I'm done. I'm done defending them. I tried. I'm done after Sunday. I'm done.
They've got a superstar wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, and a really good number 2 in Adam Thielen. Got a great running back with Dalvin Cook. I swear the defense has some talent. Kirk Cousins is not a good quarterback, and it's a shame that Minnesota is wasting all of the talent they have on their roster with a quarterback that just can't get it done versus teams that are 500. And on the other side, you got Lamar Jackson, who is just awesome. So, yeah, no, this Baltimore should take care of them pretty handily.
Jamil, over under 450 total yards for Lamar Jackson.
Go under. That's a lot of yards.
That's
almost
total.
500.
Total? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still going to go under. That would be 350 passing and 100 rushing.
I mean, honestly, against Minnesota, why not?
Yeah, I mean, it can go. I mean, it wouldn't completely shock me, but maybe that's a lot. Maybe that's too high. We'll talk Jay Herbo. We'll talk the Chargers coming off a loss to the Pats, but they're against Philly, who had a big win against the Lions. I don't think that means anything to anybody nowadays, but they have to have some kind of confidence. They put up 44, I want to say, on Detroit. All 4 of us, though, do have LA. I do think that's the safest bet. RJ, tell us why.
The Eagles don't have a quarterback. I know they put up 44 on Detroit. Listen, I think Plant High School could score 30 on Detroit right now. Of course, the 1 week I picked Detroit also, they get their doors absolutely blown off.
We both picked Detroit, yeah.
Makes no sense. So I just won't pick Detroit the rest of the year, which is pretty smart. Yeah, the Eagles have a quarterback that can't throw the ball. The Chargers have a very good one. That's it.
That Lions pick just kind of sucks for us because you look at the Lions schedule and you're like, you wouldn't expect them to go 0-17. You know, if you're going to win a game, it's going to be against Philly, looking at their schedule. So, I mean, I don't really blame us for picking that. I still don't hate their reasoning.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Sucks though. Sucks for us. You're out of first and I'm still chilling in last, but we're going to recover this week. We're going to recover, and it could start with Arizona and San Francisco. All four of us going with Arizona. They've been killing it. Jamel, tell us how. Tell us why.
Yeah, I got the Cardinals winning this one. They took the tough loss last week on the Thursday night in the last play. Back to a division game. This game was actually close first time these two teams played, but I think Kyler and the gang will want their revenge this week and get right here.
Are the Niners like fully healthy yet?
No, and they never will be.
No. And they still aren't starting Lance?
No, they're starting Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, you can't really fix anything if you don't address the issues. So,
Hey, they won last week.
hey, they're gonna lose this week though. I'd put money on it if I had any. Sunday night football. Tennessee now without Derrick Henry against the Los Angeles Rams. This is also probably the matchup of the week. This is going to be a good one. Rams now, of course, with Von Miller. Catch our video on that. Me and Jamel talk about that for a little bit. But we all went with the Rams, probably the safest bet, I would say, despite Tennessee's recent success. RJ, talk to me a little bit about this game.
So, obviously, on the surface, this is an easy pick. Derrick Henry goes down. Oh, he can't touch Tennessee. I'm very interested to see what Tennessee looks like now. Because,
Agreed.
yes, they've had Derrick Henry, and they've had to feed Derrick Henry. That's your best player. Let him touch the ball every play. I mean, I would give him the ball just about every play. So you feed him. Now you don't have him. What is this offense going to look like? Are you going to completely change the philosophy of your offense and start airing it out? I think they should. You have Julio Jones. You have AJ Brown. Ryan Tannehill can somewhat get the job done there. I would like to see Tennessee kind of change things up and be like, you know what? We don't have our horse anymore. We got to air the ball out. We got to throw it. And I think they can have success doing that. The problem is week one of this new philosophy, go play the Los Angeles Rams. Looks like they might be the best team in the NFC. That's a tough ask. But I would like to see them plant the seeds of this new philosophy this week, and the rest of the season start airing it out more. Because as much as I like Adrian Peterson and as much as I believe he might be a first ballot Hall of Famer,
Absolutely.
He is not going to do what Derrick Henry did in this offense. You cannot hand the ball to Adrian Peterson 30 times. It's not going to work. Air it out, do something different. I think they can have success. It just won't be this week against this Rams team.
Yeah, I mean, at this age, you can't expect that from Adrian Peterson, but I do absolutely agree he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't think there's any doubt about that. But I do think the Titans do have everything it takes to be a passing offense. Like you said, A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. I mean, that's one of the better receiving duos in all of football. And Tannehill is Tannehill elite? I think that's a question for another time, but I do think he's pretty good. You know, I think he's good enough to get the job done. But like you said, the Rams defense, now Miller on top of Donald, on top of Jalen Ramsey, it's going to be hard to beat. I'm really interested to see how many points the Titans wind up scoring this week. This will be the first time we see this, I guess, new Rams defense, but it'll be interesting for sure. Jamil, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I definitely am interested, RJ. I was going to say the same thing. See how this offense is going to start looking over the next few weeks. Obviously, it's a lot to ask if we're going to transform to a run-heavy team to an air raid offense. I don't think anything like that's going to happen because that involves so many things, changing the playbook, doing this, and a whole bunch of other things. But I do think they do. I think they will end up throwing the ball more than they run going forward. I just don't know what the percentage look like. Will it be 55-45? Will it be 60-40? I think that'll be interesting to see. But if they can get a healthy Julio Jones next to AJ Brown, they have the receivers to get the job done throwing the football, and Tannehill can throw the football. So I agree. It will be interesting to see how this offense looks going forward.
We'll finish up with the Monday night game. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Chicago Bears. We don't really know what to expect from the Steelers. They've been very rocky so far this season, had their ups and downs. They're coming off the in-division win over the Browns last week. The Bears kind of spiraling out of control, really coaching staff has either sucked or had COVID and sucked. It's been pretty problematic. Matt Nagy, it's time to go. We'll see how much longer it takes for them to come to a breaking point there. But Jamil, if you don't mind taking us home, all four of us did take the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tell us why.
Yeah, I think this should be a pretty comfortable one for the Steelers too, to be honest, because over the past few weeks, the Steelers have actually looked like a good football team. And here's why. They have stopped trying to throw the ball 40 times a game with Ben Roethlisberger. They're giving the ball to Najee Harris 25 to 30 times a game, and it's working. They're running the ball at a very, very high clip. Last week, they played the Browns, a top 10 running team against the run, and Najee had his best game as a pro running the football. And on the defense side of the ball, they're still doing what they normally have done the past few seasons. Now you have a rookie quarterback in Justin Fields. They have not looked good on offense at all really the past few weeks. That's probably going to be a recipe for disaster going up against Mike Tomlin and his defense. So I think between defense and running the football, the Steelers should be able to win this game.
RJ, anything to add?
The first team to score 20 points in this game will win. This is going to be very low scoring, I think. I think Chicago's defense can somewhat take care of Big Ben and the Steelers. And obviously that Steelers defense is going to give Matt Nagy's offense some fits. So I would say if either team scores 20, go ahead and chalk that up as a W.
If you've reached this far in the video and we haven't mentioned your team, it's because they're on bye. Lions, Seahawks, Buccaneers, Washington football team. At least two of you need to think about what you have and haven't done this part of the season and fix things moving forward. I think the Bucs are pretty okay. Maybe the Seahawks, but the football team, the Lions, think about your mistakes. That's it for us, though. Nothing else left. It's going to be a good slate of games this week. Week 9. Catch us next week for week 10. Will should be back. It should be the four of us. But for Will via satellite, for Jamel King and the birthday boy, RJ Strope, I've been Matthew Perry. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.